Hey guys, welcome back to another video here. Today we're doing What If Minato and Kushina Did Not Die, Part 1. So in this new What If, of course, as I just said, and by probably everything else saying, what if they didn't die? So, yeah, and I'll explain that in a second how they won't die. Naruto will still be the child of prophecy because that won't change. He will still get the Nine-Tails Fox, and I'll also explain that. But also Kuma's more kind of understanding. He's smart, well, slightly smarter, so he understands why they're doing it, but he's still gonna have his rage and whatever. Still not gonna be happy about it, but he can understand. So yeah. And so let's get into it. So, well, yeah, they'll pretty much like, and the Nine-Tails attack doesn't happen. Oops. Yeah, the Nine-Tails attack does not happen, and this is why. So before Naruto was born, Minato would come up with an idea that pretty much would mean that, well, just put it simply, is that some people would go out to where she in canon gave birth to Naruto, and would have army members there, protecting it to make it look like, this is where the fourth Hokage and his wife is. He makes it look like that. And so of course Obito, would, go follow that, because, well, they came up to the Hokage office, or where they lived. So it's the most likely thing, He doesn't really think the fourth Hokage is going to make a plan or that. That is his plan, what his spies and have told him. So, that's what he's going to do, follow them. Yeah. But of course, Minato, the fourth Hokage, can do the flying hygiene. So of course he brings them up before anything bad happens, and they're all alive. And then, Kushina would go to the hospital to give birth. So instead of being in that cave, she's in the hospital. So yeah, that's just, how how she lives, how they live, because no Reaper death seal, no ripping Kuma out, no nothing like that, so she stays alive. And yeah, and when their next meeting is, he'll propose the idea and say this is the best route, because just in case of anyone, spies or out there, this is best case scenario to protect my wife and to protect my son. And, well, yeah, and, whatever you say, this is what we're going to do, we've agreed upon it. And you'd say, well, even though I'd think it may be better for her to be out of the village, but I can understand, and this is a good plan just in case, someone, comes, like, from an enemy nation, someone comes and tries to attack us. Yeah. So, yeah. So, of course, that day comes and everything happens like Minato, planned it would. And of course, Obito, would feel like a failure, it failed. And so, yeah. So, because when he got there, no one was there. And, he looked around, like he was thinking, why there aren't people here, they must be here. Then he thinks, oh, maybe I'm just late, early. But you think, but I don't remember passing them, have they gone on further on? So then why there aren't Boo here? Like, he's confused, he's angry. It's like, but I saw them going, not unless there's a chamber or that underneath. So he spends a bit of time, in there. And, his thought escapes. But, yeah. That's how the ninth house attack was avoided. And, well, yeah, so then, like, of course, a couple of days would pass, and, like, she's regained her strength, or a bit, most of her strength back. And, she says, to Minato, I think I should, pass on, Kuma to Naruto. So, well, no, she won't say that. What would pop in, like, of course, Minato goes, Minato would say, no. No, she will say this, that, she's planning on passing over Kuma to Naruto, so, and Minato be, why do you sound like that? It's like, I don't mean all of it, I just mean half. So half is like, well, yeah, Kuma kind of came up with this idea. He said, well, no, it should say Nine Tails. And Kuma Store's not going to tell anyone his name. So, yeah, she'd go, the Nine Tails pass at least half of him over to Naruto, because our boy, he's the child of prophecy. And it's like, yeah, and, Nine Tails echoed that, and, said, one day if you like it or not, Naruto will become, the Jinchuriki of all nine-tailed beasts, if you like it or not. Well, no, he won't say that, but that's his other reason why Kuma would say it, because he still remembers what what his father told him, I forgot what it's called. But yeah, that's what, Kuma seemed to be the only one that remembered it up until he told all the other tailed beasts were in that mindscape. But yeah. Anyway. And so, one day, and she's like, maybe it's like if you don't do it right away, we can do when Naruto's won or that, but, the sooner we pass, half of Kuma's chakra over to Naruto, the better it is for him, because obviously, his, his chakra network will be, his chakra reserves, and that will be bigger, and we'll be able to even, hold back the Nine Tails, even more. It's like, I know he's got more chakra than me and you combined, but, yeah. She will, put up a very good argument with Minato, and Minato would go, I can see why, and he would agree to it, because, he knows Naruto's the child of prophecy and that, and so, and and he's kind of, and he kind of thinks, if Naruto's child of prophecy, maybe, he could also harness the power of the Nine Tails. And yeah, of course, so, Kushina would split Kuma up, and Naruto would still get the half Kuma that he does in canon. It's just, of course, both sides are more understanding, and obviously Kuma's not the tailed beast that has experienced life and death at the same time. Well, he's not alive and dead at the same time. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, of course, some people are still going to hate Naruto, because, that's who people are. Naruto's not popular, so some people are going to hate him because he's popular and that, and I think he's just, he's snot nosed about all that, or he lets his popularity go to his head, but he doesn't, and of course people like him because he's the fourth Hokage's son, the son of Minato and Kushina. But of course, who, you know, like when he's, like before he starts the academy, you know, he'd say, well, his dad go, well, what's your dream for the future? If you thought, you know, have you thought about what you want to become in the future, Naruto? And he's like, and Naruto's like, yes, I want to become the fifth Hokage. So, oh, so you want to follow Master's footsteps? It's like, well, so people, like, you know, you'd go, why don't be the fifth Hokage then? It's like, well, so that people recognise me for who I am and not, you know, have this labels like, oh, you're just the, you know, fourth Hokage's son, the son of fourth Hokage, you know, I don't have that label over my head. And, you know, yes, that label will always be there, but, you know, they'll recognise me for who I am. And I also want to be the strongest Hokage that will ever live, and oh, he will be, as we obviously know. Yeah. And yeah, so of course Naruto, you know, enters the academy, and you know his father thinks, you know, that's, you know, good result, and of course his dad and his mum, Kushina and Minato, will teach him, you know, chakra control. Kushina will teach Naruto the clan's passed down technique, which only the Uzumakis can do, which is the Antimantian ceiling change, or the Antimantian change. No, so you teach Naruto that, so Naruto's got, you know, a bit of control over that, and you know, of course, one, like, he will have a childhood friend. Already he would have a friend, you know, that already, which would be, I forgot his name. One sec. Yeah, he'd be friends with Sasuke. No, they would be best friends and rivals, because, well, yeah, the attack on the village wouldn't, because the attack on the village hasn't happened, and Minato only being alive, and him having a better friendship with the leader of the like Sharingan people, I forget what they're called. Yeah, you know, he's got a better relationship with them than any of the other Hokages ever have, and so that never happened. And you know, so Sasuke's still got his brother that he looks up to, and of course Sasuke's, you know, thing, he's still, you know, he wants to be better than his brother and that, and to be recognised for who he is, you know, and yeah. Because of course, you know, he's got the label of his brother, you know, over his head, and Naruto. So, you know, so those two would, you know, get along. And plus, you know, when of course Sasuke's, you know, dad would go to, you know, like meet with Minato, you know, he'd bring his kid, and Minato would do the same. And of course, when Kushina is, you know, out shopping, of course, Naruto would, you know, occasionally be with her, so that's where, you know, they can play as well. And plus, you know, Kushina and Sasuke's mum had a had a good friendship. So yeah, and but that's kind of where he gets friendship from there, and you know, them both being kind of born from people who are leaders. Of course, Naruto being, you know, the son of Minato, and Sasuke, you know, and his dad, like, is the clan leader, and all. And plus, you know, Sasuke's got his, you know, brother that, you know, everyone compares him to, so yeah. And it's pretty much the same, like, with Naruto. It's like, you know, Naruto is compared to, you know, how Minato was and stuff like that, so it annoys him. Well, yeah, and so they both understand what it's like. And yeah, so he's probably so and like he would tell Sasuke, one day, like Sasuke, one day I'm gonna be the fifth Hokage, and Sasuke would go, oh, but wouldn't that just give you more popularity? It's like it might, but the reason is, Sasuke, is because I want people to see who I am, not for just who I am, because who I am is, I want them to know to see for who I am, not what I am, whatever it is. Can't remember, it's quite late. So yeah, and well, yeah, and I would enter the school together at the same time, and of course, girls are going to fan over them. Well, yeah, I'd say like Naruto won't be as kind of dumb, but he still kinda is. He's not that much smarter. Well, yeah, of course his dad will teach him the Shadow Clone Jutsu, because, well, why not? His dad knows he's got a load of chakra, so Minato, he's going to teach him how to do Shadow Clone Jutsu, and so would Kushina. Actually, I would say, that Naruto learns it in an early stage. And of course, this would, Kushina kind of thinks, maybe with Shadow Clone, maybe when he's older, of course, Naruto, they do tell Naruto, show Naruto how to do it, and Naruto does learn how to do it from them. And they do tell Naruto, the kind of benefit of the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Yeah, and Kushina would go, well, and there's could be another one, which is because you can do so many Shadow Clones, you could cut down, say, the time of learning something very, fast, and that's kind of a benefit for me. And it's just like, and Naruto would go, what do you mean by benefit for you? It's like, well, our training will begin shortly, Naruto. It's like, oh, you mean like on our clan's jutsu? It's like, yes, on our clan's jutsu, the anti-mountain ceiling thing. So he'll know that going into the school. You can maybe do 1 or 2 chains at the max, and you can do, say, 3 or 4 clones. I don't know, let's say 6 clones. And and also, of course, him and Ninetales do talk occasionally, so he does know he's got half the Ninetales inside of him. Nobody else really does. And his parents have told him not to tell anyone, of course, Kakashi would stop by every so often, so he does also get trained by Kakashi occasionally, because when, Minato's out and Kushina's, maybe doing a mission or that for families, like, yes, even though Minato, well, yeah, she would still go out on them. Oh no, she'd stay. No, I'd say they'd go out occasionally. So Kakashi would look after Naruto occasionally, and yeah, and also that means of course, while Kakashi doesn't go to the other part of the Anbu, he sticks just in the Anbu and being like the family guard, pretty much, looking after Naruto and Kushina when they're like out and about and that. Yeah, and of course he's quite, well, I'd say he's definitely more happier in this timeline, because, well, for one, yeah, Rin still died by his hands, but, he's still got at least his, his sensei, and, well, he's also, like, he can talk to Kushina about it and that. So, he'd slowly, just get over it and that. So it won't affect him as much as it does in the main timeline. And, well, yeah, so of course, Naruto, I'd say, Naruto will skip school, but it's more so that his mum's making him skip school, so that she can train Naruto on doing the, like, the clan jutsu, as, well, why not? And she knows that Naruto is really not going to learn that much in school, because, well, Naruto doesn't often pay attention, put it that way. Because he's also getting, taught by his parents at the same time, so it's like, well, like, what's better? Like, he goes to school to make friends, pretty much. So, yeah, and, time passes, and, well, I'd say Mizuki's plot, would still target, another kid who failed, because, only 9 passed. Yeah, so, it'd target, another kid which would kind of fail, as, Naruto would probably, no, I don't think Naruto would over here, because it'd be odd Naruto just randomly, being in the middle of, like somebody else's, well, in the middle of this, somewhere, down an alleyway or that. But, Naruto, would probably walk around the Hokage's office, and would probably, just be, well, no, yeah, he'd probably, well, his dad would probably occasionally let him read the Scroll of Sealing, because why not? There's really nothing in that besides some, the Shadow Clone Jutsu and maybe some other dangerous techniques, but of course Naruto, he doesn't really care. He just likes reading it. Yeah. He's not going to learn any techniques from it, besides from, well, of course, the Shadow Clone, which he already knows by that point. And so, he's kind of sits down and he grabs it, and just as he's about to read it, he can, like, he hears someone, like someone, he hears kind of a thud, like someone's, like, snuck in, so he goes to investigate sneakily. And he's like, what's he doing? He shouldn't be in the, he shouldn't be here at this time of night. At this time. And so, he'd show himself like, what are you doing here, it's late, you should be in bed. Oh no, he won't say that, he'd say, what are you doing, hey, you should be, home by now. So, well, nothing, I just want to speak to the fourth Hokage. Is like, well, you should have made an appointment with him if you've got something that you need to talk to him about. Yeah, just, and, he's like, come on, what's really going on? You snuck in here. That's, yeah, come on. Who's, told you to do whatever? And, the kid would, he'd feel, he'd, crack up, and he'd finally, tell, Naruto that, Mizuki told him still the Scroll of Sealing, and, that would, and that, if I, got, learnt one, thing from the Scroll of Sealing, I would pass, he would pass me. It's like, no, that's not how the academy does, once you fail, that's it, you have to wait until next year to try and pass. And it's like, yeah, and, you can go in jail for that. So I would go before any of the guards catch you. I'd go now as, the kid scrams off home, and, of course the kid would also tell Naruto where to meet Mizuki, so, he'd go there, and Mizuki, of course, then shows himself and he goes, I should have thought like that kid would have scrammed me down. It's like, well, he didn't. He just so happened ran into me before anything could happen. So Mizuki, I'm gonna take you into prison now. So, and it's like, well, I'm not going, you've got no evidence. It's like, I know what you told that kid, Mizuki. That kid told me everything. What you told him. It's like, stealing scroll stealing? Really? There's nothing really in there. It's like, how do you know you've never looked in there? It's like, how do you know I haven't? I am the father, no. Let's try that again. I am the son of the fourth Hokage. No, the fourth Hokage. Oops. Yeah, I'm the son of the fourth Hokage. So I've read it once or twice before. And yeah, there's nothing worth their learning, or to my opinion at least. And just, he'd get kind of edgy, so he goes, well, you'd have to stop me then. Like Nine-Tailed, but it's like, Nine-Tailed? What? He'd reveal, or think he revealed to Naruto that, like, you're the Karen in Nine-Tails Fox. Like, oh, okay, just that. It's like, what? Like, a bit surprised, like, well, no. Well, yeah, he would somehow know. And, yeah, and Naruto goes, Naruto goes, yeah, and plus, how enough do you know? Who told you? As, yeah, of course, Naruto, well, that fight, it would go the same with Naruto, just knocking him out in one go, without summoning the, 1,000 odd shadow clones he did. Yeah. And, of course, he'd bring him back, he'd take him to the prison, and, Minato would go, Naruto, I thought I told you to stay in the office. Sorry, Dad, some kid tried Conan's still scrolls in. It's like, what? Why? It's because Minato, because I forgot his name now. You could tell I forgot because I said Minato, not the person's name. Because this, our school teacher, one of our school teachers, Mizuki told this kid to steal scroll ceiling for him and to learn jutsu from it. So I managed to, and I know that because the kid told me. I managed to stop the kid, and he explained to me, what Mizuki said to him and where to meet Mizuki around. So you don't have to worry, Dad. Mizuki's now in prison. He's in jail. And and Mizuki, somehow knew that I was the, I had the Nine-Tailed Fox inside of me, like, Dad, who else knows? It's like, it's like, what? It's like, I've told you, it's an S, got a secret, no one else should know. It's like, but yes, then, how did he know? Like, only you, Mum, and Kakashi, to my knowledge, are the only three people that know. Maybe you've told somebody higher ups, I don't know. But, that's, the only three people I, like you've told me that know. And, yeah. So, how did he end his file goes well? I don't think too much about that, I will investigate that myself, Naruto, because that is, a serious breach of information, yeah. He's, concerned now that who else knows that Naruto has the nine tails inside of him, half of it inside. He said, yeah, and he said Mizuki seemed pretty confident that he could beat me, but I knocked him out in one go. It's like, oh, did you use the chain style? It's like, no, I just punched him in one go. It's like, oh, so you didn't even use your sealing chain? It's like, nah, I didn't really need them for Sasuke when I'm battling against Sasuke or, well, your mum. As you know, you're just too fast, Dad, and, well, mum's just incredibly strong. It's like, well, yes, but you're strong in your own way, Naruto. And, that's the thing, it's like, it's like, to say the least, you're quite hard to battle against. It's like, I've battled against loads of people that have been, weak, strong, and I'd say you're one of the harder people also I've gone against. Is just when you're battling, you're like, it's crazy. It's like I know you're not damn, you're higher than average. You're smart now too, but when you once it comes in, to battling, say if your life's on the line, it's like you become like another person. It's like you become like a genius, like nobody else could beat you type thing. And I have to put real effort into fighting you, and even your mum said that, so you're going to be a strong person when you grow up. And plus, one day I will teach you the Flying Thunder God technique, so that is that to look forward to, and not to go, well, okay, but that's not the thing that I really want to learn from you, Dad. As he's like, I know Naruto, I will teach you how to do the Rasengan. As I said, when you graduate the academy and become a ninja, that's when I'll teach you how to do it. And he's like, yeah, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to actually complete it. Something you Kakashi and Jiraiya aren't able to. It's who knows, maybe Naruto, or maybe I may figure out between now and then, who knows. Is that maybe, just maybe. And yeah, of course, when Naruto go, well, okay, if you're staying here, then I'm gonna go home, it's getting late. It's like, oh, right, yeah, let's walk together then. As, he goes, as they would walk back. And, of course, Kushina would go, you're late, why are you late? As so we were kind of talking and lost track of time. But also, and, also there's something concerning somehow. Mizuki knew that Naruto, Minato would explain what happened, why Naruto's got a bit of mud on him and that. And, Kushina, it's like, he did what I want to do, he said, what I want to do, I'm about going down there right now and killing it, and beating them up. I was like, whoa, I was there like, whoa, calm down, you don't need to do that. So, it's like, well, yeah, mummy doesn't deserve your time, come on, I knocked him out in one punch. It's like, I'm pretty sure you'd kill him in one punch. Yeah. It's like, but still, it's, and it's like, that's not the wrong thing. The wrong thing is that he somehow knew that Naruto had the nine-tailed fox inside of him. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, no, Naruto told me himself. It's like, yeah, he told me, it's just, to be expected from the fourth Kage son, the nine-tailed brat. Yeah, and then he, went on to explain how how I've got the nine tails inside of me, trying making it try and, make me feel surprised that you've kept this big secret away from me, but, well, obviously, you already told me. And, yeah. Yeah. And she's kind of concerned, and it's like, don't worry, I'm gonna look into it from tomorrow. Obviously, it's too late now, so, yeah. And, a couple of days later, the academy exam would happen and Naruto would pass instead of failing. So I think the thing he failed probably the hardest out would, well, as it seems to be more so on, like jutsus, as obviously, it's a school for, becoming a ninja, so I don't think there's going to be much, stuff like writing down. Like, there won't be really a written like exam, because that's kind of pointless when you're a ninja. It's like that maybe, a little bit, what you're going to do, like, in this situation. Like, if you're in this, situation with, say, like, like, one of your teammates who are injured, one of them are terrified, and the other one wants to, and the other one's protecting, like, the car, like, the person, like, the whatever it is, like, situation, like, important person, what are you going to do at the situation? You're the only one that can fight. What are you going to do? Like, stuff kind of like that. And, and of course, I'd say he probably mostly failed on the transformation. Well, no, not transformation. I would also say he would also have the sexy jutsu as. Oh yeah, as I would say. Yeah, I'd say that in a minute. But yeah, so he would. Well, yeah. And well, yeah. He would. Go. One of them would go. Oh, so, no, the part would go. Oh, Naruto, can you, this final one, Naruto, can you sort of say clone juice? Any of the clone juice that you've been taught. One of the academy juice. Well, no, you'd say, can you do one of the like clone jutsus that like that you have learned? It's like, well, my dad kind of said I should really only do one, as it's probably the best one for me. And he's like, oh, what's that then? Naruto's the Naruto go, it's the Shadow Clone Jutsu, sensei. So, oh, okay, do it then. As it would transform into the, fourth Hokage, and they'd stand and go, stand go, Lord Third, Lord Fourth, I know what you're doing here, as Naruto would go, that's not my father, that's my shadow clone. So, what you can do is, like, just before you even summoned it, you can do transformation. It's like, oh yeah, I've got pretty good at doing that. Like my parents, they're quite, well, more so my mum's, quite strict on training. She said this would help me in the future. As right, and it's like, and as Naruto goes, you can't sit back down. So, oh, right. As, like, yeah, because, they know the fourth congregation are fast, and plus, the Flying Thunder God technique, he would put one on his son somewhere. Or, well, not put one on him, but, Naruto would have something with him that if he either threw or was in trouble, his father could come immediately to him, or as fast as possible to him to get him out of that situation, whatever it may be. Yeah, whatever dangerous situation he will be in. So yeah. And well, yeah, and now to the kind of sexy jutsu thing that I alluded at. yeah, he'd be one day, well, he'd be, well, he'd show he'd do the transformation jutsu when he's like learning kind of how to do it, and and then Kushina's like, wow, well done, you finally done your, father, as let's go, mum. Well, when I've been practicing this, I've been, well, like, when you and dad aren't teaching me, and, like, Kakashi, and I'm not training with Kakashi either, I've been, working on something. It's like, oh, have you now? It's like, yeah, can I show you, like, can I, show you it? As he's a bit, he'd be a bit embarrassed about it. It's like, okay, go on and show me. As just don't, like, yell at me. So, okay. As, do the sexy jutsu, and it's, she's got, you've turned into ghost. Like, yeah, it's my, I can done this. Is like, whoa, and it's pretty cute. It's pretty cute. It's like, she's, like, she'd go. I could see why, you wouldn't want me. You told me not to yell at you, and I could see why, Naruto. But this also kind of gives some opportunities. Also, it's like, what do you mean? It's like, don't transform, don't de-transform yet. It's like, alright. It's like, I want you to stay like that for an entire day. And it's like, chakra training. Naruto's gonna need a lot of that, especially with having half of Kurama in him. And that would be, one way, because trying to, hold the transformation, that's constantly, eking out of your own chakras. As you will learn to be able to, do it and do it at lower chakra, and, perfect it even more. And it's like what's starting right now is like, yeah, starting from right now, you cannot transform back. It's like, okay, it's like, what am I going to do about school? And it's like, oh, don't worry, I'll just tell them. It's like, what? So, yeah. So every so often, Naruto, would, oh yeah, so next day, Naruto would come and school, and Sasuke would be, you get. Well, no, he'd knock for Naruto. Well, yeah, he'd knock for Naruto, because, it's on the way, so he'd knock on Naruto's door, and Kushina would go, Sasuke, you're here, okay. Like, so, yeah, what is, Naruto's like, she's coming. It's like, she, like, Kushina, you're okay? Like, I'm pretty sure Naruto's a boy. It's like, oh no, not today. You'll see soon, Sasuke. You'll see soon. This is part of his training. So, like when you're coming back, please tell me if Naruto, like, transformed back into a boy. It's like, oh, so it's part of his training. It's like, yes, it's his own technique which I've kind of turned back on him, and so he's now having to stay like it for an entire day. It's just like, okay, and he sees Naruto, and he's like, he's kind of cute. He'd say that, and he'd forget that, he said that aloud to me, and meantime, I was curious, and it's like, who have you fallen for her? As he'd go, what? No. As he'd go red, he's like, oh, no, I said that out loud. No. Yeah, he's like, oh. No, it's like, I thought the kind of same thing in the beginning. Yeah. And that's like, do I really have to, Mum? Do I really have to go to school? Like just like this? It's like, yes, this is a part of your training. Now, Naruto, and yeah. So, what did you guys, yeah, like, tell me in the comments down below, guys. What would you like? What would you like? Naruto's. What would you like Naruto's female name to be? Would you like it? You know, something like Ryu or Ruby, or you know, like, or I don't know, something else. Like, yeah. So would you like it? You know, continuing. You know, like like with this channel's kind of theme of name and female Naruto, Ryu or Ruby. Ryu, red and blue, and Ruby being red. Obviously. Well, not obviously, but whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. And, like, that, it's like, she'd say, like, they would, say, see then as Sasuke's like, damn Naruto, that backfired on you badly, didn't it? He's like, yes, it did, but I can understand, why my mum made me, like, why my mum's making me doing this. It is, like, to a degree, it is kind of like good with chakra, training, because as you know, Sasuke, like, I've got a lot of chakra, and, as much as I can do, techniques just brute forcefully, compared to you, where you have to be, careful how much chakra chakra you use. I can just, quite frankly, just go brute force and, use an insane amount trying to do something little. So, in this sense, I have to carefully, of course, manage it, because if I run out, well, my mum's not going to be happy. I kind of failed the task. Like what looks like simple task, like simple at first, but then when you realise you have to even hold it when you're sleeping and that, it gets pretty hard. So what she made you do when you say, it's like, yeah, she was pretty strict. Yeah, and my dad had my dad, I'm pretty sure he almost had a heart attack when he came in and saw me as a girl. It's like, Sasuke's like, yeah, I bet Naruto, it must have been a real shock. It's like, plus, did your mum tell the school? It's like, yeah, she told me she's, told them. And, if someone's asking, why am I a girl, or dressed up as a girl like this, tell them it's training, it's chakra training. And, yeah, Sasuke's like, maybe I should, well, he kind of says, like, maybe I should do it too now. So if it's, chakra training, because, that'd be kind of handy for me too, with, like, my, like, being a, what's he, I forgot what he is, what Sasuke is, dang it, in Uchiha. And it's like, me being in Uchiha, and, like, will awaken my eyes, yeah, it's like, well, that's up to you, you'd have to ask my mum, because, yeah, and plus you'd kind of have to explain to your mum why, you've, come back from my house as a girl, when you was a guy before leaving, you was a boy before leaving, and you're now a girl. You'd have to explain that. So, yeah, and plus, well, yeah, and I'd have to teach it as it is my technique. It's like, yeah, and, like, just, yeah. And, as they kind of, like, as they walk past people, a lot of people would go, huh, like, they'd think, when did the fourth Hokage haven't, like, did they have twins and they never, like, showed us, told us, like, what's going on? It's like, but damn, is that girl, cute as, Naruto be, like, just red in the face, and, Sasuke's like, yeah, I can, yeah. It's like, as he thinks again, he's like, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, of course, Sasuke won. Well, that's up to, actually, I'll leave that up to you guys. Would you like Sasuke to also accompany Naruto on that kind of forced training? Like chakra training? Because, yeah. Would you? Mind you, like, this would even extend to when even Naruto's on missions, he'd have to. So, yeah. But, yeah, and of course, like, Kuma, because he is talking to Kuma at this point, and Kuma, just, he's laughing his head off. When, like, yeah. He's just laughing, he just can't believe it. Yeah. And Naruto, he's just like, shut up, you damn fox. He just buys the rest and he's like, well, so you do also have meat inside, so, it is a good, chakra, training exercise, because you do have to hold it for the day. And even though that looks easy, at first, and don't forget, the better, you get out of controlling it, the longer you're gonna have to control it for. It's like, oh, yeah, my mum maybe make me start doing it for 2 and 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Oh no. It's like, well, that's your own fault, Naruto. I did kind of say that your mum may make it into some like, something of the sort. If she, yeah. It's like, I don't know, I think she was a bit angry, but also she saw the potential of, like, the training potential and that it could give. Yeah, and I think plus she may have also wanted a daughter. So, yeah, I kind of feel both boats then. Training, and plus she gets a daughter at the time. It's like, yeah, and, well, yeah, and it's like your dad, and, and your dad's face when he saw you, it was priceless. He almost gave him a heart attack. Yeah. And, well, of course, this is, when Naruto, was. And, of course, Naruto does pass the, exam. I'd say, he's kind of like, him and Sasuke, like, they're the, two top, like, they're the best students. Like, and then it's like, for the girls, Sakura, Haruno, and then, I forgot her name. What's her name? I forget her name. Sakura's friend and rival. Yeah, her. And yeah, of course, Team 7. Well, yeah, of course, teams will be, announced the same. Why? Because, well, like, Minato, would make it that, episode, and plus, he thinks, well, when maybe, one of their future missions, Naruto's, training with the, the nine-tailed fox's power, Kakashi, that he's the best person for it. Plus, Kakashi, already knows that, Naruto's got the nine-tailed fox of him, so he's trying to minimize who knows about it. Obviously, the entire village is going to know eventually. It's just, he's trying to prolong that time. So, yeah, and of course, he will, yeah. And of course, like, well, yeah, and of course, Minato would actually get there on time. Not Minato. not Sasuke, not Sakura. Kakashi would get there on time, as Kakashi would fear Kushina, and well, yeah, you'd know what Kushina would do to him if he, came late, on the kind of like first day of, meeting your new teacher, like your journeying leader. So he comes. He's that early. He's there so early. He waves. Like hi to Naruto, and he's like, Kakashi, why are you here? And Kakashi's like, I'm here. Like, our your teacher's gonna announce who's gonna be in what group today. As Sasuke's like, yeah, I can't wait. Naruto goes, I wonder which group I'll be in. I don't think, we'd be put together because, it's always put, the best with the worst, and then, like, the two best students with the worst student, then there's the two second best students with the second worst person, and so on. So, I wonder, I'd be quite surprised if I'm with you then. Well, yeah. As Naruto's like, not thinking about it a bit more, and about, who, what, and knowing what me and, who knows? Maybe, like, he's like, maybe we'd be on a team, there's probably, like, if so, then, yeah. But I'd probably say, my teacher would probably end up being Kakashi's, like, let's ask, like, oh, why? Why'd you say? It's like, well, I'd probably make that so because there's, well, an S-class secret art, that, I forgot his name now. Kakashi knows about me, and obviously I know, and my parents know, obviously, but yeah. And yeah. And, who knows, maybe, one day I'll be able to tell you. Who knows? It's like, well, yeah, one day I will tell you what it is, and, well, one day the village, the entire village is going to find out eventually. So, yeah. As, everyone arrives and, the teacher, he says, today, for the people that have passed, today, you're gonna be meeting your joining teacher, right? Your joining, like, leader, who'll be, leading the 3-man team. Yeah, so, he'd, call out everyone, and he's like, now, finally, for the last, for Team 7, will be, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchi, well, no, he'd say, Naruto, well, no, not for the last one, he'd say for the next team, Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno. Sakura's like, yeah, I'm with the, like, with the, like, the fourth guy's son, and as he's like, oh, no, not hers, then, the part says, and, Sasuke, Uchi as, Naruto's like, yes, as they're like, alright, what, as they high five one another, as she's like, oh my god, I can't believe you, what's the chances of being on the, the team with those two? And of course he calls out, and you go, your team leader will be Kakashi of the Sharingan, Kakashi. As, they're like, who's that? As, that's like, okay. He's, yeah. It's like, yeah. Nothing too surprising. As it's like, as okay, damn Naruto, did you know who the proctor would be for your for your team, for your team? It's like, I'm not the one in charge first 3 years. It's like, well, you are the first one to be called down. You are the best one. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't mean, I'm the best, for it. You could be better at it. Who knows? And, that kind of excluding Sakura from this kind of chat. Yeah, of course, she's just freaking out that, she's on the team of 2, and of course, Naruto, well, no, both of them would put, their hands up, and you'd go, yes, Sasuke and Naruto, do you have a question for me? It's like, they'd go, yeah, why are we on the same team? Shouldn't it be the best student with, like, the best 2 students with the worst student, but the best, male, and the best female with the worst student, then the second best male and second best female with the second worst student. So why me and Sasuke on the same team? It's like, well, the fourth Hokage, he decided this team, Naruto, and well, there's some other reasons for it that he didn't tell me, because he said he said he could, like that, secrets that he's sworn to not tell anyone. It's like, is that okay? It's like, now you can meet your genuine teachers, as each one would come in one by one, and they would, of course, Kakashi would say, meet me, on the roof. As they didn't walk up, no funny business this time. Well, they didn't walk up, to the roof, and you go, Sasuke, what's your ambition? What do you want to be for the future? It's like, well, I wanna be in the police, I wanna be in the armed police, and also be, I wanna be even better than my brother, and be strong so people recognize me for who I am, and I'm not just so they recognize me for who I am, and he'd understand. It's like, alright, Sakura, how, what do you wanna be, what do you wanna be in the future? And she's like, well, what's your ambitions? Yeah. He'd say, what he said in canon. So it's like, he just, she doesn't get much through. Just who she likes and who she doesn't. Yeah. Of course, she's fangirl, and, she's on the team of, these 2 most strongest people. Yeah, and, it'd go, and now over to you, Naruto, what do you want to be? Well, I already know what you, and it's like, do I really have to? It's like, Sasuke pretty much knows what I want to be, and so do you, like, that really? It's like, oh yes, because who knows, it could have changed, Sakura doesn't. It's like, fine. It's like, you were stubborn. It's like, stubborn like Kushina. It's like, oh, I tell my mum that. It's like, no, please don't. No, down. It's like, well, then do I get a pass? He's like, no, you still have to do it. It's like, fine, now just tell my mum that. It's like, I don't get him. It's just, he's thinking, he's like, well, maybe she won't get that mad. I was just like, come on Naruto, you have to say. He's like, fine, but I'm still telling my mum what you told me. Yeah, that is, Sasuke can see Kakashi, is a bit on the pale side now. And yeah, he's just like, I guess, like Naruto's mum, like Kushina, can be scary. It's like, yeah, it's like of course really only seen it when she's kind of training Naruto and that. And when, like, I know she can't be strict, but how strict can she be? Can she be even stricter than my mum? He's like, kind of, like, what? Yeah. It's like, what's so scary about her? She's, a nice woman, he's thinking. And, yeah. So, he'd say, I want to be, he'd say what he likes and that. And, he'd say, he likes training, he likes training with his, dad and his mum. It's like, it depends, he's like, well, I like training, I love training with my dad, I like training with my mum. What I hate is when my mum forces me to, when my mum makes me do my chakra training. For all the, so by now, he has to hold it for, I'd probably say like 3 days now. Yeah, he has to hold it. And that's when, he's also training, doing like any other chakra training. Yeah, like any other, chakra techniques or anything like that. He has to still, stay in his transformed female form, which, needs a name. So please leave a name in the comments down below of what you want me to call the female Naruto when Naruto's in that kind of state. Yeah. And yeah, was yeah. And yeah. And well, yeah. Because it's, and what I want to be on the model about the 5th Hokage, I want to be the strongest Hokage that ever lives. I want to be the strongest Hokage ever. Is like, Kakashi, he's thinking, well, he's thinking to himself, well, you're bound to be, you probably are going to be the strongest of, Hokage Naruto, you're on your way to that, and especially if you can master in the 9,000 power and that. And it's like, yeah. And that's what I'm going to end it. So in the next part, which hopefully it will be shorter, maybe 20 to 30 minutes long and not an hour long. So yeah. So hopefully in the next part we'll be going through, what Kakashi will be doing, like for that kind of team assessment, see if they can work, in a team, because like Naruto's got really no experience working in a team, and well, yeah, neither would Sasuke, or yeah. So yeah. And well, if you guys have enjoyed it, like, if you've enjoyed it, so channel, similar to this, subscribe. If you want to see more, tell me in the comments or hit the like button, so I can see, you're like, oh, this is interesting, could you do part 2, or where's part 2, when's part 2 coming out, something like that. But yeah, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, in the next wonderful video tomorrow, and a good bye.